Hey, welcome back to Road Tripping with Rachel. I'm Rachel. Thank you so much for joining me here on this road trip. I realized that I have not talked about some of the antiques I actually have in my home. It's been quite a while. Oh, I think it's been like 2 years or so ago. I posted on my blog about why I choose to invest in antiques. And I've realized that I have been on a little bit of an antique kick here recently, and I wanted to go on ahead and show off some of the antiques and thrift finds that I have in my home that I have really added to over the last couple of years. So I think we should go on ahead and just get started with it. Because some of these are really fun and I absolutely love them, and then some of them are ones that I have just found and they were just overall a great deal for me. So probably one of my very favorite is, ignore how that I have stuff on it, but I have my antique desk. I bought my desk in 2018. It would have been 2018 because I was still working for the antique mall at that point. It's a 1904 teacher's desk. The middle opens up. It's got two drawers. It's got the inkwell. It's got a place for your pencils. It's a little weird, and if you notice, like, I have a stool like pushed up underneath it that's abnormally high. I sat at this desk back during COVID when I was on work from home orders, and a regular chair is too low, and a bench is, like the stool that I have right now is actually too high. But whenever I sat on the chair during my work from home orders, I actually had to stack books on it to like lift me up a little bit. So yes, it's a little bit of an awkward height, but you know what? It's still great. One of the other things out here is this painting. I got this at an antique mall down in Farmington, Missouri. I think it is a photo, or not a photo, a painting of Herman. I have stood in a parking lot at Herman and I have seen this look with the church, both the two churches and the steeples. And this is Finney. Isn't he adorable? Are you gonna say hi, Finney? No, he is not. He is not. But one of the another place that I have a lot of antiques, strangely enough, is actually my bathroom. So some of the antiques that I have are pretty new, and some of them are ones that I've had for quite a while. Let me go ahead and flip you around and I'll show you. So this guy is new. I actually just got him last weekend. It has a drawer that has like hair stuff in it, and then I keep all of my facial cleansers and skincare up here. Then down here I have an antique decanter with glasses, so I use one to hold the toothbrush and toothpaste. One is for the mouthwash. This is actually a vintage lipstick holder. I thrifted this guy and it is perfect. I keep my perfume, lipstick in there, chapstick, and my mascara. I have here, and those flowers are dried, I have some milk glass. My trash can is actually a vintage pitcher, and I also have this. I thrifted this, but I absolutely love it. It's great and it's beautiful. I think it is one to have here in the bathroom. It matches the colors because I recently changed the shower curtain. Another item that I have is, this is a fun one because it's been in the family for quite a long time. Hold on. I've been working on my quilt, which if you follow me online, you know what my quilt is that I've been working on. Oh, please don't rip. So just a second, we're going to leave something there because we have to, out of necessity. But it is actually a vintage chair. It's part of a set. The other set one is currently in storage. And next to that, I don't know if you can really see it that well, is a sewing basket. That was actually my grandmother's, and I inherited it after she passed away. But that actually has a lot of stuff for like tea towels and things like that in there. other fun pieces of art that I have is this vintage handkerchief. It's actually very, very beautiful. I like the frame almost as much as I like the handkerchief. I do have several vintage handkerchiefs, mainly because I'm just a little bit of a hippie, enough so that I don't like having a bunch of like Kleenexes and paper towels and all that kind of stuff around. We do have those in this household because my roommate is one of those people. I'm just not. And that is totally fine. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It was just a choice I made that was not going to be where I was spending my money. That's fine. So, other big place that I tend to have a lot of antiques is going to be in the kitchen, and we're going to ignore the sink. So I'm just telling you that right now. We're ignoring the sink. We're going to pretend it is not there. But if we into my cabinets, you can see that is not an antique, nor is this. That is not an antique. But I have a collection of Pyrex bowls. I've got some more that are back there hiding. I've got these guys. These were my grandmother's as well. And in back, I don't know if you can see them, I've got club pans. I do have some club pans down here as well. And then I have my stoneware collection that I have collected over the last several years. Other antiques that I have in the kitchen, I have my lovely colander. It's great. I actually initially did not thrift this with the intent of it actually being used in the kitchen. I actually got it for crochet and knitting and stuff like that. That was the original intent of it. But a lot of my kitchen supplies, I also have my salt box, which is here. It's my salt box. I have a collection of antique canisters, which are not currently on display. That is a future project that I will one day have, you know, house dreams. So I recently just bought myself a spice rack, an antique spice rack. It is beautiful. I am going to have to do some refinishing on it, some repairs, that kind of thing, to make sure that it is safe to use and won't totally fall apart or break, because that's a whole thing. So I have this bad boy. I got this also whenever I worked for the antique mall. It's great. And then I've got these guys up here. I'm Swedish. I've talked about that before, but I have these that I've collected through the years. I also, just because I love showing it off, I love the classic Winnie the Pooh, full collection, vintage collection. I've got multiple copies of A House at Pooh Corner. I've got it in Latin. I've got little picnic cookbook, a little instruction book for life. I've got the Gospel according to Winnie the Pooh. I've got it in Russian. I've got the story of Winnie. I've got another complete copy of it. So as you see, I have a little bit of a collection going there. I do have a few other vintage books that I really like and enjoy. I have some platters. I have, actually, I haven't talked too much about them because my roommate doesn't care. But I have, we're going to go up a bit and hopefully you can kind of get a chance to see it. Oh, can I reach? Can I reach? Yeah, there it is. So I do have some platters and things like that. I've also got this bad boy that I acquired. This is my microwave. Yes, it is wrapped up because our apartment came with that. I have a kettle. I've got dessert plates. I've got sugar and creamer. And I also have a vintage Stanley that is back here as well. And then I have some other vintage are actually in the china cabinet. I've got some Fire King mugs. I've got some glass parfait dishes. But I bring this up because I think a lot of people think of antiques as like, oh, you buy them, you put them on display. Now granted, some of this is on display. Like obviously I'm not using the stuff like over here all the time. Like it's there because I like it and it looks pretty. Although I have used the tea kettle, I do use the teapot. I do have also served friends with the pitcher and the glasses. Obviously, my Winnie the Pooh books, they are up here because I just genuinely enjoy them. And my Dalla horses are on display. However, most of the stuff that is actually in my kitchen, I use on a very regular basis. So I make bread pretty much every week. If I bake pretty often, I will use a lot of my vintage mason jars that I've gotten from my mother or from my grandmother. Those are things that they are a pretty consistent part of my life. Kitchen things are some of those that, you know, they have worked for many, 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 many years, and I still continue to use them. I love them. I've cultivated them over the course of the years, and I don't really feel the need to replace them. They have lasted and they will continue to last, and I'm keeping some beautiful things out of landfills. But I have always thought it is very important that you be able to live with your antiques, because if you're going to have them in your home, you need to be able to live with them in your home. I have met an individual who I actually once upon a time did work with. I have seen pictures of his house. It is beautiful. Let me tell you, it is beautiful. He has a very beautiful home, vintage Victorian. He has renovated it. He has brought it back to its glory. It is decorated like the Victorian era. It is not meant to come in and, you know, kick your shoes off, sit on the couch and watch TV. That is not the purpose of this house. It is a showpiece, and although it is beautiful, and I've told him, I'm like, it is so pretty, especially at Christmas time. So pretty. However, that is not how I would ever want to live. Okay? So I think it is very important that when you are collecting antiques, and you are, unless it's just purely like a collectible item that is meant to be looked at, it's not meant to be touched, it's not meant to be played with, it's not meant to be actively used in day-to-day life, don't waste your money. But if you're going to really like invest in antiques, and you're going to find ones that you truly like and enjoy and love, go on ahead and find the antiques that are going to fit in with your life, so that way you can curate your home, and that way you have a place that is yours. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to always have to be careful about bumping into things. Now, by and large, most of the antiques that I have, I will not be totally heartbroken if something happens to them. I might be a bit upset if my Pyrex bowls get messed up because of like the time I took to get those. But I would be upset, but you know, I wouldn't be like absolutely devastated by it. Some of the Winnie the Pooh books I might be a little bit more upset about because some of those are items that I've curated over the course of many years, like through my childhood. And that is not something that I really want to see messed up or gotten rid of. But by and large, a lot of the stuff that I've curated are things that I use. They're things that are a part of my daily life. They're things that I love to see and work with and handle, and I don't feel as though I have to be, you know, walking around with kid gloves on for them. So I hope that you also, if you enjoy antiques, that you also appreciate being able to have these kinds of things around and a part of your daily life. But that's all I got. I know this is just like a brief look at like my life, but occasionally I like to give you guys a break from the Bible study stuff. I love doing the Bible studies, but I also know that that's not necessarily everybody's cup of tea. So hopefully you enjoy getting a chance to take a little bit of a peek, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye!